All right, guys, welcome back to Reseller Information Network. We appreciate each and every one of you for being here, watching previous episodes, dropping comments, all of your support. We love hearing from you guys. Today we're going to be reading some comments from you guys, the viewers, and we do appreciate you guys watching and leaving comments because it gives us things to talk about, but also lets us know that, hey, maybe we're on the right track here. We're leaving some good information for you guys. So let's jump right into the comments. First off, we have Doing It Wrong, who says, working hours is a social construct for people who sell in chunks of their life to someone else in 8-hour increments. Reselling for yourselves frees you from this entrapment. He's talking about a Cha-Ching King comment from way back. We got one from Lady Luck Junk, Danica, who's been a guest on the show before. Encourage you to go back and watch the episode with Danica. Man, talk about rhyming. She actually gave Leroy a serious run for his money during that episode. I'm happy to see you all take time away when needed. Excellent information as always. Thank you for sharing. Grams and Pops Vintage says, I have nothing profound to say, but I wanted to leave a comment just to let you know we're still watching. Great to see you gentlemen back at it. Also, I told a friend to tell a friend, like Tim said, but now I have two less friends. Non-resellers have no sense of humor. See you next week. Bargain Resale said, I accepted an offer on $10 game. The buyer messaged me and said he would pay on March 30th. Yo, that's a serious layaway program. Just $10, guy. Come on. Go ahead and pay that thing out. Cha-Ching Magazine reseller newsletter. Who is not Scott the Cha-Ching King, but apparently a fan of Scott. He says that, yes, I'm not Scott, even though I messaged him thinking that he was Scott. He says some great tips by Tim on the mid-century modern. Definitely recommend the watch for those looking to sell in this category. Lisa Durer left a comment for, I'm pretty sure that this is our resident chef. Usually when we have the show going on, he's eating. Leroy, ghetto cooking was great. Love the MCM barware. So we thank you that. And then there was much debate last week about in the listing and loafing, which is on Tuesdays. Join us at 9 a.m. or 9:30 a.m. Eastern, and we'll be there till around 2 o'clock. Come and hang out with us. It says Girl Scout cookies are $5 a box, $6 for the newest flavors. So I'm sure we'll be looking in this.
So wait, they're new Girl Scout cookie flavors?
Yeah, there's a new raspberry filled chocolate cookie coming out. So there's that. There's that. We're going to jump in and go ahead and do something I forgot, and I apologize immensely to you guys on the panel and you guys in the chat. But the past couple of times, I forgot to announce this fine group of gentlemen that is here with me and let them do some type of introduction. So we're going to go ahead and jump into that today. Coming to you live from the Dog Catcher Mobile, we have our resident tool expert. He's not eating today, guys. Now, he might take you through the drive-thru at some point in this episode, but at this point, he does not have oodles and noodles in any form, ghetto or otherwise, in the van that I know of, unless he's got cup of soup. But Leroy, what's up, man?
What is going on, guys? Guys, I want to tell you, listen, this is episode 2020, and I'm so happy that we got to 20. I can't wait to get to 120. This is just, it's a great experience. I'm glad you guys learned. You guys crack me up when you say stuff about me because I don't expect it. I don't want anybody to say anything about me, but it means a lot to me that you guys, you put in the comments, my little stuff. It really cracks me up. So I'm glad to be here today.
Leroy's giving you the two hands, right? The one where he pats, the one where he says, "Yeah, bring it." But hey, so we have with us again. Last week he dropped some serious heat on the mid-century modern barware. I can tell you, I had one yard sale this week. and I was looking, man. I was looking around. I didn't see anything glass related other than a pumpkin that I could find no marking on. And I was like, but he definitely always is on the hunt for things that you wouldn't expect. Tim, what's going on, man?
Nothing much. Big shout out to everybody who's watching us right now. We do appreciate all the love and all the support. It's great to be here as always. Had to bring down a little light just now. Looking a little washed out. I am pale, but I am not that pale. No, it's just we're gonna dive into a lot of good information today. I did want to let everybody know, just in case they did not know. There's apparently only 28 days in February. I learned that today. So just in case anybody needed a heads up, yeah, there's only 28 days in February. So I thought
Except for
be,
the every 4 years. Every
yeah,
4 years.
yeah.
Next year we'll have 29.
Then there's only 29 days. So apparently there's some days missing in February all the time. I don't have any answers for that except for apparently the Gregorians.
Gregory's clan.
So yeah. So just a heads up. We'll already be in March when you guys are watching this, but I guess I thought I'd let everybody know about that. Also, it's been a while since we've had an opportunity to do this, so I figured I'd let everybody know. Do you guys know I am now officially crossed the 105,000 point plateau for 7-Eleven points. I am officially at 105,708 7-Eleven points.
Wow.
So, yeah, we're climbing, and I'm excited. Apparently, there's some sort of new Pac-Man challenge going on here on the 7-Eleven app that I did not know about. I'm gonna have to look into that. But listen. Do you know how many points it would cost me to get a fresh salad from 7-Eleven? First of all, I would never buy a fresh salad from
3,000.
4,000 points. So it's like, what am I? You got to get to I got to get to 1 million. I feel like to make this like worth it,
right?
know?
Yeah.
To get a fresh salad, do you have to visit at like 2 a.m.? Is that like when the truck comes in?
I don't know, but I will tell you, listen, I will eat almost anything from 7-Eleven, but they have introduced the Alaskan fish sandwich at 7-Eleven, and that is something I will eat anything from McDonald's. I will not eat fish fillet. I will not eat Alaskan fish from 7-Eleven. I don't eat fish from fast food places. It's just not something that I do, but yeah, besides that, man, we got some awesome stuff on deck today. So shout out to you people for listening to me babble about nonsense for the last 2 minutes and 36 seconds. I apologize.
So you're not on the gas station sushi train, like
I'm not a sushi snob, but I am like very particular about my sushi because Josie and I have we are very fortunate. We have a very, very, very awesome sushi place. It's a small place, and it's not like in DC. It's like back in my hometown, outside of DC. But this guy has been rolling sushi for like 75 years. He is just a sushi master. So yeah, I'm pretty particular about my sushi.
I was wondering what Mr. Miyagi did after Karate Kid. I was curious as to what he was doing, what he was up to. Hey, last but definitely not least, we have Cernoch gave me some hope today in our show that I am not the only one that makes shoe buying errors. So, like, if my Mr. Miyagi can get it wrong occasionally, it gives me hope that the world is, there's hope for me. So, Cernoch, what's going on?
Listen, we never try to tell y'all we're perfect. You know what I'm saying? We're not perfect, but Leroy, you open up that Leroy is spotted a dog. No, yeah. We're not perfect. Hey, we buy shoes we think are perfect, and then we get them home and we're like, oh,
yo,
there's $100 down the drain, but I didn't spend that, so it's okay. I buy wise so I can throw that away if I need to. So hey, I know I always like to show off my hats. I'm wearing an oldie but goodie Medi-share Young Brothers out of Canada, out of Saskatchewan. Okay, shout out the Young Brothers, the Medi-share. This is one of my favorite hats. If you can I don't care if it's not shaped or whatever. It fits perfectly. It reminds me of cool stuff, and I'm rocking it today. No tag or anything like that, but I bought it out of Canada from a guy in Canada, so it's from Canada. So, but yeah, I've got some cool stuff to show y'all today as well. I put together some really cool stuff. So hopefully y'all can learn from what we're talking about today. And yeah, let's get it started.
Man, I feel like being it's from Canada, you got to throw in an A or something. Like,
Canada, eh?
Yeah. Yeah, at least that. Maybe Big Summer Blowout, something like that. A little phrasing quick. Hey, so we're going to jump in, or we were going to jump in with the 101 with Tim.
I apologize. My dog was just going bananas. I think the male guy is here. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna do a little 101. Now, when I was contemplating, this segment, I was like, it's difficult for me not to do a deep dive when doing a 101. So I was like, let me just kind of bring something in that is happening to me currently as a reseller and try to relate that to a 101. So I have come to the conclusion I'm going to talk about supplies and inventory of your supplies. I know we've talked about supplies like periodically sprinkled throughout this show at different times, but yesterday I came across a dilemma where I was printing out a massive amount of labels and realized that I ran out of labels. But I was like, oh, I have these free UPS labels that I ordered with the guys live on our Tuesday Listening Loafing show. So I went and I opened up the box, and inside the box was a giant roll that was about this large. And my thermal printer does not have a back door or side door entrance for labels. So I couldn't fit it in the label printer. So I was like, oh, I don't know what I'm going to do. So Leroy and I are trying to jerry rig ideas, and I'm like respooling the labels, and it just was not working. So the point of this story is it's very important to make sure that you are up to date on the inventory of your supplies. I know that I am responsible for this, and I'm sure most resellers are responsible for this, and that is procrastination. So I think that it's super important to keep an inventory of your supplies. That's boxes, bubble mailers, poly bags, labels, thermal printer labels, everything, tape, boxes. It just, to be able to prepare yourself in advance is helpful. Don't wait till the last minute when you're down to 2 boxes to order boxes, because then what's going to happen is you're going to get 2 orders that need those 2 size boxes, and you're going to fill those, and then you're going to third order before your other boxes get in. So it's another step along the way of trying to make your business as a reseller successful. And that is to be, properly prepared for any situation that may arise. So, come to an idea of what, your shipping time is going to be for certain products when you're talking about your inventory of supplies, and make sure that, okay, I know it's going to take generally a week. So maybe I should order 2 weeks in advance from when I think these boxes are going to go down. That way you're prepared. So, always keep an eye on your supplies inventory, because it can be difficult sometimes because you might not realize it. And next thing you know, you're out of something. So just to be prepared on your supplies is super important to help the workflow go accordingly. I think also another interesting situation is I always order the same supplies from the same place most of the time. I think that it's important to kind of sometimes, if you have a little bit of downtime, ask some people what they're ordering, where they're ordering from, maybe do some shopping around, see if you find some better prices, maybe better quality of products and things like that. Today, big shout out to Paul, the Flipping Sports guy. I was talking about how I just ordered 1,000 top loaders. And I told him the price, and he said, well, I got a guy that gives it to me at this price. So then now I can save $25 on the next case that I order. So I just think, the small things like this are what help you in the long run in being successful with your reselling business. So for me, the 101 today is going to be, obviously always shop around for your supplies. Try different products from different companies or different people. Ask other resellers what they're using. Try it out. If you don't like it, you still have the person that you've been using for before that. But it's never gonna hurt you to try new things. And then the last thing is gonna be to keep an eye on supplies. So check your inventory of supplies constantly. Make sure that you are in a good rotation, so you never get to a point where you run out of something when you need it. This will help you in the workflow as a reseller.
Absolutely.
Hopefully.
Great tips there. Because one of the things you will run into too, I know for me, when I first started, I ordered a lot of stuff from Amazon and I was just sorting cheap price. Cheap price ain't always the best thing. Sometimes you run into some stuff that's not good. Like I was selling a lot of media when I first started. So I ordered a specific size padded mailer. And then I got some in that were not, even though they measured that size, they were sealed in such a way that you couldn't fit the DVD in. So, like they are no good to me for that. So, like there's definitely things like that. It is good to see when you get down to a level of inventory, like to be able to know, hey, I need to order up, especially when it comes to free supplies, because they may take a little longer to get there. So. Next up, we got Leroy, and I'm actually going to be tag teaming him a little bit with this today because he is on his mobile. So we're going to be popping up some stuff that he's showed me along the way, and actually made a little money. Shout out Leroy.
Okay, guys, listen. So this is how this works. Okay, um, in this community, you have friends. They consider, some of them are considered family after a while, and we teach you guys stuff. We tell you guys about certain things, and it might go in one ear and out the other. I expect that. I hope you expect that from me. Um, but there are times where it's gonna come back to you, to where somebody said something or showed you something along the way. You're gonna be stuck in a situation. You're gonna say, "Oh my goodness! I remember Cernoch told me about this type of boot, and this is the boot that he was talking about." You can't go back and look at the video. Some of us have friends. You can phone a friend. It's a joke, but it's not a joke. Over the weekend, Eric had phoned me and said, "Hey, listen, I'm at a sale," and I totally geeked out. So when somebody phones you, don't geek out, because you might be on a live call and the other person that's selling the stuff could hear it. I geeked out. I geeked out, guys. It was actually pretty funny. Eric had to hurry up and turn me down. He almost lost some good deals because of my big mouth. But what we're going to show you today is we're going to show you guys some auto body tools. So a lot of auto body tools are sort of sought after because they don't do that much auto body stuff, with the old sheet metal like they used to. So we're going to jump into this page here and we're going to go through some of these auto body tools. So if you look here, you see some of these numbers, guys. That's lots. Go into that one hammer, the single one. All right, so guys, if you look at this hammer, if you see on one side of it, it's round. On the other side is square. But if you look on the square side, it has a little bit of a pitch to it. That's not bent. There's nothing wrong with it. That's on purpose. That's to get certain areas underneath the fenders. And that hammer there, if you look at the price, what is it?
$150.
$150, and this is what it's sold for. So if you look at some other, like you'll see some of them with groups. Eric, if you can go into another hammer, just pick any random one. And so like with these hammers, they'll have some that have points on one end. They'll have some that have two round ends. Just click on anything, I'll work with it. Some of them will have 2 round ends. Some of them will have long spouts. There's one there on the bottom, a group of them. Yep, this one here. Can you click on that one? Nice. So if you look at here, nope.
Eric's having February 28th internet issues right now.
It won't pull up an individual. Every time I click on an individual one, it kicks it out.
Okay. So we'll just do that one. And I'm gonna start right over, but stay here, and then I'll just go through each hammer. You just show me the hammers, okay?
All right.
So we'll just stay right into this page. All right, guys. So if you look at, there's a group of hammers here, okay? And if you look at it, there's a lot of different shapes, lengths. They're actually different weights. Once you get into the hammer, look at it. Some of them will have the ounces. Now you look at that one, looks like a long nose. Looks like it has like a little flat end on one side, then a long spout, and a little ball on the end. That one I've only found one of. And those are pretty expensive. If you look at the next hammer next to that, it has round on one end and square on the other end. So we'll go to the next one. One end's cut off really short, and then the other end has a little spout and it has a round end. The next one has a little point and then a little flat end. So what I'm trying to get at is they're all different shapes and sizes and weights. So when you see anything funny looking like this, don't be afraid to grab it, especially if it's only $5 or below. Don't be afraid to grab it because they're sought after. Then you'll get into like dollies and stuff. We don't have that page pulled up, but I've showed you guys before. But sometime when you have extra time, go into some of the auto body stuff on eBay and just try to get familiar with it so you can see. So these are all different dollies, sizes, weights, shapes, and it's just something that, like I said, they're not around a lot, and it's something that you wouldn't know. You wouldn't know much about these. So just again, keep an eye out. Don't be afraid to phone a friend, but don't be surprised if he geeks out on you and you lose a sale.
So you said the dolly is like a dolly. That's like the head of the hammer.
No, so the dolly are those little metal things that you see all in between the hammers. They're just little different shapes that you put underneath you. So you put one hand in the fender, the other hand outside of the fender, and you hit the on one side, and you got the dolly on the inside, and that helps you shape the metal with the older cars that you can get into.
Now, condition. What about condition? Because it looks like it doesn't really matter with some of these about like the condition to a certain extent.
You do
right?
if it says USA on it, you're good. There are a lot of knockoffs now, so they're cheaper. So, like I said, if it says China on it and stuff, don't. But if it says Snap-on or there's a couple other names that I can't remember off the top of my head. Fairmont is a big one. Any of those, any of those USA names, those are the ones that you want to keep an eye on.
This is what Leroy had me pick up.
Yeah, so this is actually the one of the ones that Eric did buy. And how much did that sell for?
This one actually took off for 50 on this. Yeah. Just that grouping. But I have another one that I actually sold just the hammer, and I probably undersold it.
Yeah.
But for me, it's like first time out. Hey, let's throw it against the wall, see what happens. And actually, I grouped all of those tools up together. That was the original idea, and I had it listed for like $120. One guy messaged me on this hammer. I'll get to it in 1 second. He messaged me about one particular one. He said, if you'll separate it out, I'll pay $40 for that. And I was like, absolutely, we'll do it. We'll do that. I sold for $90. I had roughly 20 in it. Actually, a little less than 20, technically, but yeah.
And what did you do? I see that you actually grouped them together. So you grabbed a bunch of the auto body stuff that a good buddy of yours, and you put it all together and sold it. And how many packages? Like, was it it heavy? Because people think, oh, that's heavy.
The dollies are a little heavy. Just so you're aware, like they have a few pounds, but I think the whole package was less than like 8 pounds.
But you were able to ship it all in a priority.
And it actually went to North Carolina, so it was good.
Was it a flat rate box?
Yeah.
Yeah. So my meaning of that, guys, is don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. And this is the hammer that Eric sold, just the one hammer.
$40
for $40.
Look at it. It's kind of roach, to be honest.
Yeah. But now hold on. If you look right there, the other ones, guys, that I showed you, the other ones one had round end and one had a flat end. Now this one has 2 flat ends. Some of them you'll see will have 2 round ends. So there's so many different variations of these different kind of hammers for different applications of bodywork. So I just wanted to jump in. I got really excited over the weekend, guys, when Eric gave me the opportunity to almost ruin his sale. So we both decided that it would be a good thing to just discuss. First of all, being able to message someone that you know to ask them when you're there, if you can. And, he sold all of that within, I think, about 24 hours from when he listed it. Yeah. And he made $100 or just a little over $100 on that. So keep your eyes out, guys. Thank you guys for letting me be able to geek out again on some tools. And don't call a friend when you don't have a headset in, because you could lose a sale.
It's actually pretty funny that when I send him, like, I've honestly done this with all these guys at some point. Like if you get a FaceTime from me on a Saturday, they pretty much know that there's something that he's like, what is this? Like, what's going on? Like, yeah. So and I know, because I've seen the rest of these guys do similar things. Like, hey, give me a little heads up on this. So there was a whole tool chest down at the bottom. I saw that said auto body parts, but I'm just opening the tool chest like, what do I need to get? What do I need to get? But the guy was creeping up on me from over there when Leroy's like, and then the funny clincher for me was, the guy said he had sold. So the lady at the sale, who was actually her stuff, she said, I was like, what about, is there stuff in the tool cabinet that's for sale? She's like, yeah, absolutely. So like, I'm opening the tool cabinet and Leroy's with me, and she had walked off. The guy comes up who's helping her run the sale, the tool expert or whatever. He comes up. That's when Leroy's geeking out a little bit. And he goes, well, he said, really, we sold this whole cabinet for $250. And Leroy's like, what? He's like, man, you should have got that. He's like, that's a steal or something like that. He said, he goes, but if she said you can have tools out of there as long as you don't take them all. I was like, okay, cool.
And guys, I'm going to say one more thing, and then I'm going to let go back to the next segment. But when you go to any of these sales or anything, take that stuff that if you're looking at it at one place, move it to another place. Because if he didn't move that stuff, he wouldn't have got it.
Yeah. Make a pile.
Yep.
Yard sale 101s. Hey, so next up we've got Cernoch, and he's going to be coming in with a deep dive. So you never know.
Hey everybody. All right, so check it out. We've done different things in this deep dive, and I get a lot of questions, and I see a lot of questions about denim, about blue jeans, denim, blue jeans, whatever you call them. But today we're going to show something that everyone I think sees or has heard of: Levi's. Levi's is the #1 brand selling jean ever, basically. So now there's so many iterations of these, so many different kinds of, like, what's new, what's old, what's vintage, what's you're talking about Big E and this and that and so we're gonna break it down. Now here's the thing. Last week we saw Tim break his down. Now again, on these deep dives, this is like we're going like deep, like probably like, you know, when you go in the pool, we're going the deep dive is like up to your neck type thing. You know what I'm saying? Up to your chin.
We're not
like
putting on the scuba gear yet.
Yeah, like if we went with the scuba gear on and all this stuff, dude, we could do it could be a 12, you know, a 12-part series on some of these items. But we're gonna talk about Levi's today. Look, I'm gonna try to give you the best information. Some of the dates, you know, some might be like, well, technically this is 1935, halfway through. Listen, the dates are approximate dates, okay? I'm not going to cover everything, but I'm going to cover the things that are like easy to look for, that is going to give you just a brand knowledge, a general knowledge of what you're looking for. Because when you think Levi's jeans, you think, oh, you know, jeans, it's got the little tag on the back and, you know, blah, blah, blah. But some jeans are worth more. Some jeans are worth less. So I'm just going to go through a style guide. I'm not going to talk about like what, you know, you should, you know, the crazy grails you're going to be looking for. But I'm going to show you, like, we're just going to go run through and I'm going to explain some of these tags to you. We're going to do tags. Okay. Tags and labels. Okay. So the first one down here, now I'm going to lead it out with the big hitter. Okay. These are the rear pocket tabs. So if you're not familiar, these are the little tabs. Now these are a little different. These are the silver tabs, but these are a little bit different, and you're going to find these right here. Now this is the Levi's Big E. Now Levi's introduced this in 1936 on their jeans and other clothing. Okay. Now here's the thing, and I'll cover this. Recently, Levi's has reintroduced the Big E, but again, I'm dropping knowledge for you. So Big E was introduced in 1936. Now, in 1953, they put it on both sides. They put the Levi's with the Big E on both sides, okay? Now, you'll see some other tags throughout the years. So I kind of want to just go down and let y'all know what, you know, other tags you may see as well. So you might see this tag. I've seen this tag on this is part 1954. Okay, so you're starting to see an evolution of the tag. 1954. This is like the denim family. They you know, kids stuff had it on there, women's stuff, men's stuff. You know, so it was a little bit different. And then they started doing other things too. In 1960, you'll see a white label. And I've seen a lot of these. These are for non-denim items, okay? So a lot of times you'll see, like, I get asked the question, oh, I found a crazy denim label, but it's not on denim. Is this Levi's worthy thing? Yes and or no. Then that goes in a totally different direction. But your Levi's right here, that is for like non-denim 1960. And then you get more non-denim stuff, 1964, 1965. You start seeing these other, you know, these different labels, but these were made for like their permanent press. They're more polyester type stuff. Okay. Even like, you know, 1965, you'll see super slims, but it's crazy that this is an orange label that looks a lot like the 90s orange label, but they're a little bit different. It's in black lettering, not white lettering. So, you know, you have all these different labels. Now, here is the one, 1971. Okay, 1971, they changed from the Big E to the little E. Okay, so if you take a look at that right here, they change it. It goes 1971, the little E changes. Okay, now throughout the 70s, 80s, you know, they kind of kept it, you know, this way. Now through the 90s, Levi started introducing newer styles. Okay. kind of like what I was showing you right here. This is the silver tab. Okay, this was 1988. Came out with the silver tab. All you 80s kids, y'all know how impressionable the silver tab jeans were. Okay, and then also they have the orange tag as well. Okay, they have orange tag labels in the 90s as well. So I always look for silver tag labels and orange tag labels because they're easier to spot. Because, man, I'm telling you right now, you're not going to be walking up in the thrift store and your first time looking for Levi's and find a 1950s Big E, okay? I'm just letting you know. Just letting you know. Now, if you did, you hit the jackpot, and you might want to go buy a lottery ticket, but I'm just saying, So orange label is good, okay? And then we're going now. Now, 2003, they changed the labels. Now, if we go back to the one that was released in 1971, you'll be able to tell a little bit. Okay, the typeface changes. You get a wider L. You get a bigger L. You get everything's just wider. So take a look at that. Boom, wider 2003. Okay. Now, in 2009, now I get a lot of people that don't know about this. In 2009, Levi's put out a kind of a new label called Made and Crafted. And they like to take a lot of their vintage items and remake them. Okay, so you'll see like this Made and Crafted logo, and then so that started in 2009, the Made and Crafted series, and then in 2008 or 2018, they came back with the Levi's Big E. Okay, the Levi's Big E came back. So a lot of people were confused. They started finding these Big E's, and they thought they want, I found a Levi's Big E. But again, it was just Levi's kind of resurrecting some of these, more vintage classics. So, and then the last one you kind of will see is this one right here. Now, this one's a little bit interesting because you see this on a lot of stuff now. This is called the 10% label. Okay, so this was basically Levi's made this to protect their trademark of the pocket tab, the red pocket tab on their jeans. So they just put a red pocket tab on it, so they could say, "Oh, well, if you're doing copyright law, you need to change more than like 10%." So they to make it where you couldn't take them to trademark court and be like, "Hey, I'm trying to trademark this." So that's some of the labels. Now listen, Levi's has a bunch of different like little one-offs here and there. I didn't go over all that. I'm just trying to give you some basic knowledge. So hopefully you're writing that down. And they kind of leave you with this. There are inside tags. Okay, so we looked at the outside pocket tag. We're going to look at some of the inside tags now, because the inside tags can also give you a little bit more information on what jeans you have. Now, if you see a tag, okay, it ain't gonna be from the 50s or 60s, because the 50s or 60s, in 1968, they started printing them on the pockets. Okay, 1971, that's when they started doing the tag. So this is a 1968 right next to me. Okay, right here. Boom, boom. Okay. Now, in 1971, they moved to a tag. Now, the tag did not have the Levi's logo on it or anything like that. Now, in the 80s and 90s, they changed that. 1985, they came out with this tag, okay? This tag was, had what they called the Batwing logo, okay? The Levi's Batwing logo, printed in red, okay? Everything in all caps. And then in 1987, they did on the backside, they did the care instructions and everything like that. Okay, and then in the 90s, they moved to some of them did the white, and then they went to the black, like this one right here. You'll see like that one, and this one looks very similar. And then your newer styles, like in 2000, in your 2000 era, are more looking like this one right here, that gives you kind of all the information, the wash instructions, and everything like that. Now, again, like I said, I could go on 12 hours of showing you tags and this and that. Yes, there's minor differences in this and that and whatever, but those are the things you want to look for and how you date some of these jeans. Now, there's even, if you get down into it, there's even ways to use some of these numbers on the back right here, okay, to date it right there. And I'll kind of give you, now, again, it all changes with different labels, but right here, you'll see 0897. That means these were made in 1997, okay? But again, there's a lot more things that you can do with these labels. I'm just showing you the ones you want to be out, looking for when you're out there hunting, okay? I just wanted to, show you all those things. So that's what I have for Levi's today. Hopefully, if you, here's another thing too. You can always go on eBay and just type in Levi's jeans, go to solds, and go highest to lowest, and filter through all the crazy, the stuff that doesn't look real. You see someone spent $60,000 in one bid, whatever. We all know those scams, but take a look, at accessible items that you may be able to find, and you can see, hey, I didn't know that, this type of, jeans from 1974 did that well. So definitely take a look at that. Again, like I said, I could go on 12 hours about that, but I don't know if Eric wants to sit through 12 hours of Levi's tag, But again, this will give you a good start. This, like I said, a little deep dive will give you a good start in looking for jeans, especially like if you're going to start selling jeans, Levi's is, where you want to start, and you go from there. So hopefully y'all learned something, and yeah, there we go.
Can I ask one question?
Absolutely.
Is there a difference, a noticeable difference outside of the inside tags that you mentioned to differentiate the original Big E from the reintroduced Big E?
Yeah, 100%.
What is the difference?
You ain't gonna have a tag on your Big E.
So just on the inside, no inside tag. On the original is your main tell from the new ones to the old ones.
Yeah.
Okay.
And also, I didn't go into this either, but there's a lot of different. Now I'm gonna give y'all some homework. Okay, I'm gonna give y'all and the audience some homework. Go in and type in Levi's yellow single stitch. Okay, or lemon stitch or yellow stitch. That again, that's a whole nother video we could do on just the yellow stitch. Okay, there's little yellow stitch. There's rivets. There's even like, see this stitch right here on the pocket right here. Mm-hmm. Even that can tell you. Even like, so that can tell you where you see. Let's see, like your different rivets here. There's a whole bunch of different things that you can do to look. There's even numbers on these things. Again, that's why I said it's a totally like, because you got the yellow stitch, you got the orange stitch, you got this, so you do have a lot of that. So yeah, that's the thing. I'll tell you right now, if you get a Big E right now, it has all the wash tags. It's a Big E, and you've got like 15 tags inside of it. You know how they fold out, so you'll definitely be able to tell, the difference.
Okay. Yeah.
And then there's also the thing too. You can write this down. What jeans? Type in selvage versus.
Oh yeah.
Like that's all. Maybe in a couple months I'll do a whole thing on selvage jeans. So and what to look out for. But again, like I said, we're deep diving, but man, we're not scuba diving. We're not.
I feel like we're in the kid pool right now. Still, we're in the kid pool.
We're We're in the kid pool, ready to go wade chest high. I'm giving y'all chest high.
We're at the pool bar. We're at the pool bar.
Yeah.
No floaties are required yet. Like we're still tiptoeing.
Yeah, exactly. So
Leroy has a question.
Yes, Leroy.
So here's my question. I don't know if I'm going out of place here. I know that some of these places now, you got your Kohl's, your Walmarts, your all these different places. They Nordstrom's. They do sell Levi's, but some of them are made just for that particular store. Can you tell the difference in the tags? Like a Walmart pair of Levi's or a Marshalls is usually overstock, but like a Walmart or like a Target, any of those.
Okay, so what Levi's has done, okay, to kind of differentiate their brands, to offer some to more like discount stores like a Kohl's or something like that. They have introduced the Denizen brand, Denizen. If you've ever seen that, that's a brand owned by Levi's. So you'll find that type of stuff in those stores. It's a lower end type stuff at a price which is competitive with all their other brands that they sell. So you'll see more of that.
And my last question is, I know some of the tool companies, their sister companies like we just spoke about, they'll do a sister company to try a new style, they'll try a new shape, a new material, and they'll do like a different layout. Some of those are worth more than the other stuff because they didn't last long.
Correct.
Is there any name that comes off the top of your head that you're like, yeah, this was made by Levi, it was called, February 30th.
So yeah. So the Made and Crafted series I spoke about, Levi's did an offshoot called Made and Crafted, where they're taking more experimental fabrics, incorporating more vintage type aesthetics to a newer garment, or because I've sold some Made and Crafted stuff that was like crazy embroidered ornate made in Turkey type stuff, so that's a little more experimental, where a lot of and then Made and Crafted nowadays they brought the big E into Made and Crafted, so you see a lot of just kind of they're trying a lot of new ideas. So but if you see Made and Crafted on a pair of Levi's, I would definitely at a thrift store, I'd be like, whoa, hold on, that's something to because here's the thing. If you pick up a regular pair and you look at it and you're like, oh, this has got all the new tags. This is from, this might have been bought last year, 2 years ago, and they want $20 for the jeans. No, step away. But if you have a Made and Crafted piece, and that's where you might want to pause and be like, you know what? Let me comp this. Let me see if it has any. This has some value to it. So that would be, and the thing too, Levi's definitely also has like a higher end that they sell, like in designer boutiques and maybe like their home stores, so that you wouldn't find anywhere else. Exclusives, collabs. They do everyone's collab happy now. I know Levi's did Pokemon jeans. They did Snoop Dogg jeans. So any of those kind of collabs that you find, especially just if you're in the denim world, the outerwear world, the sneaker world, collabs are a hot thing, and collabs, I feel, just add value and scarcity to the product. So
yeah, for sure.
Hopefully that helps.
Yeah. One thing I'll mention, and I know you didn't say anything, but I know we've talked about this before ourselves. A lot with clothing is feel as well. Like you can feel a difference in fabric once you have some experience with it. Like I know for me, I got all those old Jordache jeans, like the hemmed ones. And dude, if you touch that denim from like late 70s, early 80s, like, and then you touch today's denim, like they feel entirely different. Like it's more starchy feeling, like it just has a different feel. Like kind of plays into what Tim always says about you need to have all your senses at work when you're out there doing the picking. But like, I mean, I guarantee if you were to put a today Big E besides a Big E from the 50s, then you're going to be like, oh yeah, these are two different things. Like t-shirts, like you can roll down a rack of t-shirts and kind of know to a degree what you're dealing with. So it is one of those things. And like you said, you're just beginning to crack the seal, the lid.
Yeah.
Like we're not even getting in there too deep at this point. But hey, you can't all Rome weren't built in a day. If you're going to get into jeans, I mean, start with some basic things and then just start to identify those things. Like the tag is a good place to start. That's a great tip for sure. We're going to jump into a couple of questions, guys, and then we'll. This first question is actually from Terry, King George Flipper. And this is one that was dropped a couple weeks ago in Listing and Loafing. It says, I live in King George, Virginia. I have a hard time sourcing the Goodwills in Virginia. She says they suck. They mostly have dollar store stuff. Never find anything good to buy. Any suggestions? Please help. And she's used Tim's name specifically, so we'll start with Tim. Please help.
So she's the. So wait, so you're in Virginia and the Goodwills in Virginia suck. That's the
King
dilemma,
George,
right?
particularly.
King George, particularly. Okay. So I mean, there's certain things that you can do outside of this. Obviously, you know, try and see if there are other thrift stores that are within your area that may not be big chain thrift stores like Goodwill. You might be able to find some local church thrift stores that offer a thrift store that maybe only be open 1 or 2 times a week. You know, I'm sure it depending upon how comfortable you are with travel, you know, maybe expand your search area to see if there's maybe, you know, something that's a little bit farther away, 10, 15, 20 minutes farther away than that Goodwill. That might open up some more doors as well. I think the other thing obviously is, you know, try to do some more sourcing online until yard sale season comes around. I think you guys, King George area has some pretty good yard sales during yard sale season. I think also make sure you're checking not just for the church stores for thrift store opportunities inside the churches, but also rummage sale season should be approaching as well. So that might open up some more opportunities also. But I think that it can be discouraging. I actually had this conversation with Eric earlier today about how it's been super difficult here at in my area as of late in thrift stores. I just haven't had much luck at all thrifting the thrift stores. I'm just waiting for Cernoch to remind me that I need to come visit him and just stop even bothering here. But yeah, I think you sometimes you got to think outside the box a little bit. You know, try some online sourcing. Try to find some smaller thrift stores. You know, use the Google as your friend, and then maybe expand your area of sourcing outside a little bit more, 15, 20 minutes away outside of that initial drive to that Goodwill in King George. And then also the church stuff and the rummage sales. And then, you know, we're getting close here. I know it's been 70 degrees here a couple of days. So, you know, we're about a month or two out, I'd say, from, you know, getting a little bit more closer to full swing yard sale season. So that would be some of my suggestions for you.
Anybody else got anything?
Yeah, definitely go look. Definitely go look for those. Because here's the thing. As you progress as a reseller, you start going to places you don't want to go, like where everyone else is going. You're like, yeah, y'all go to Goodwill. Yeah, go to Goodwill. Spend, you know, $40 on a pair of boots. Okay, go there and get overcharged. Whatever. You know what I'm saying? You know, I've almost taken Goodwill completely out of my rotation. Now I'll go there every once in a while, but again, go go off the beaten path. That's the thing you're going to need to do. Go to some of these small towns, okay? Take it, because I know where she lives in King George. If she lives in King George, get on 95, okay, and stop at every one of those little small towns, okay? Between here and Richmond, okay, and just go. All right, and load it up. Get your phone and load it up in your phone. Go. All right, I'm gonna stop right here. I'm gonna type in thrift stores, okay? The Salvation Armies, the Goodwills, all that stuff. Look for that small mom and pop shop, that church shop, that mission, whatever, and go in there. Okay, talk to people. That's how you're gonna find. Because here's the thing: you keep going to Goodwill, I can't find nothing. Go in there the next day, I can't find nothing. How long is it gonna take for you to go? This ain't working. Okay, so change it up. Go look for those smaller shops, like Tim said. We dabbled on it. We talked about, sourcing and online arbitrage, online sourcing. If I broke both my legs today, I'd be all right. Because you can go online and find all these items, or you can find, so it's out there. What I'm trying to say is it's out there. You just got to open your eyes up a little bit more and take a look around you, okay? Because again, you're in a good spot. You're not in the northern tip of Alaska, where you know what I'm saying, where you
ain't on an island. You ain't on an island.
Yeah, you ain't on an island out of the middle of nowhere. So you can find stuff.
Leroy, you passed out?
No, I'm still here. So listen, these guys haven't said this one. This one I learned a long time ago. I've used it once or twice. Being raised in a big city, I didn't really have this issue too much. But here in the South, I have noticed that a lot of people, they don't even have smartphones. They still using their flip phones where I live. Okay. I probably see about 10, 15 flip phones a day, which is a lot. What you need to do is don't be afraid to do homework. Don't be afraid to call City Hall. Now you're going to say, why would I call City Hall? A lot of these people don't realize that they don't realize, or they're afraid to have a yard sale without registering. Some of these towns and stuff, you have to register your yard sale. They're going to charge you up north. They're going to charge you 10, 15 bucks. You got to register your yard sale, or you can get in trouble with the town because you didn't register you're having a sale. So some of these city halls and stuff, they'll know, don't be afraid to call, ask nicely. Don't be a jerk about it. But like, hey, I was wondering, are there any yard sales that are registered in this county or anything like that? Libraries have boards on them. You go to the board, you see what's going on in the community boards. Go to the library community boards. Somebody might just put a little sticker with a little phone number selling something. They don't know better to go online, or they go to the library, so they just make up a little thing, they throw it on the community board. So, libraries, community centers, if you guys still have those, town halls. Those are 3 places that I wouldn't sleep on. It's going to do a little bit of legwork. It's not, nobody's giving it to you like you guys all want, but go and do a little legwork. Contact a relationship with your city halls, your libraries, and you'll be surprised.
There you go. And the last little tip I'll give, and I've personally not used this, but I know people who have in our area. Shout out to Ox Antiques. Like they put an ad on Facebook for things that they want to buy. Hey, you cleaning out? Here's an ad. Like, so whatever you're into selling, like if you have items that you specialize in that you'd feel more comfortable talking about, then put it out there. If that's for you. I did check your little profile for a second, so I know that you have sold some jewelry. Like, look, hey, looking to clear out your old costume jewelry, hit me up, like, and come by, because like that's a good way to source without having to spend all your time, doing a lot. But all of those things, And also go back and watch those sourcing videos. We put out a couple already. We probably could do at least 2 more, maybe 3 more, because sourcing is a big part of what we do. And there is not just one way to do it, there's plenty of ways to do it. And there's even a lot of ways that we may not even know yet. But we're figuring it out along the way. Check with local estate sale companies, auction companies. Like there's lots of things to look at when you're flea markets. I mean, all that stuff is out and available. So double check those things. The last question I have is not something that anyone particular has wrote in a comment, but we did talk about it a little bit today. Just a brief little touch on it. Promoted listings, pros and cons. Do you guys do it? And what's it all about? So I will start out with Cernoch because I know he brought this up today.
All right, here's the thing. Promoted listings. Do you have to do them? You don't got to do them. Okay? If you like sales, okay, then you might want to do them. Okay? That's how I think about it. That's how I think about it. Okay? eBay is saying, hey, you run promoted listings, we're going to put you near the top. That's what they say. Okay? Now, does it happen all the time? Might not. Okay? They're not perfect. No platform is perfect. But I don't think it's I don't think it's any I don't think it's an issue of if you should do it. It's how much you should do. Okay, coming from me, because here's the thing, you never know when, especially like the new stuff. You never know when you might have an item that you're promoting that gets shown to someone that they weren't looking for that, but now they are. Okay. Again, we're in front of eyeballs. Our stuff is in front of people's eyeballs every single day. What's catching them? Okay. And this is another thing that eBay allows us to do is do promoted listings. So it's like, why not take advantage of that? I will tell you this. I run experiments. Other people run experiments. Listen, you put promoted listings on and you have it on and you're rocking and rolling and you turn it off, you might have some residual things, but I'll tell you what, it starts going, down. Not fast, not kill it. It won't kill it, but you will see a gradual decline in your sales. That's how I feel. Okay. So I would say with promoted listings, yes, do it. Now, is everything fair? What they charge or, like how they do it. It might not to you. It might not be fair, but guess what? We're playing in eBay's playground. Okay. They're getting us millions of eyeballs for our stuff. We always forget that. A lot of people forget that, is that eBay is a platform. We choose to be on that platform. Okay. We choose this promoted listings. We choose the shipping costs and all that stuff. Okay. So where I was going is I choose to do promoted listing because it works for me. Okay. And I know it works for other people. So not to do promoted listings just because you don't want to might be the worst decision you could make on your eBay store. We'll leave it at that. How about that?
Timmy, you got anything to add?
I mean, you guys I've voiced my opinion on promoted listings more than one occasion. I just sometimes you got to play the game, and I think that promoted listings is part of the game. People always complain about stuff, like they refer to eBay as Feebay and stuff like that, and same thing with Whatnot or Macari or anything else like that. It's a basic business rule of thumb. You got to spend money to make money. That's the fact. That's how business works.
Yep.
So for me, it doesn't bother me at all. You know what I'm saying? Like every single platform, you're going to pay some sort of fee. Now, some fees are backdoored more so than other fees on other platforms, which makes people psychologically think that they're not paying as much as the other platform, when in fact they're paying the same, if not more, than the other platform. So for me, it's just part of the game. Like I mean, we've gone over it a million times. The science is there, the numbers are there. You know, it's not like February where like it's missing 2 days in the month. Like it's promoted listings. Like you can promote your listing, you sell your listing, you pay the fee. That's all there is to it. You know what I'm saying? So just source accordingly and sell price accordingly. You figure these numbers into your sales and into your profit margins. For me, it's like I buy things 10, 20 times X. So I'm not worried about 9% on my promoted listings. I promote all my listings. I promote all my listings at 9.6%. I promote all my listings at a 3-day time period. I end that promoted listings and restart it again. Sometimes I do it on 4 days. Sometimes I tinker with it 9.4, 9.5, and sometimes I run 4 days depending upon if I started on a Thursday versus starting it on a Friday and vice versa. Just tinker with it a little bit, see what works best for you, and then adjust and adapt. I haven't had an opportunity to say it at all this episode. I'm going to say it right now. Adjust and adapt, so that's part of the game. If you want to play with the big boys, promote your listings. If you don't want to play with the big boys and you rather complain about paying promoted listings and you want to complain about eBay being slow, then don't promote your listings. But complaining never got us anywhere. Trust me, I complain a hell of a lot and I ain't got nowhere from it. So I'm just going to throw that out there. Hopefully that is helpful and tough love for some people.
Yeah, and I think that what Tim was saying too, sourcing accordingly, okay? I think a lot of people that are complaining or worried about the fees so much, it's because, and this is not a knock on anybody or anything like that, but their items are like low priced items. They're $5 to $10 items, okay? Whereas, if you promote it, then they're taking more fees out, which after. They're doing free shipping. Think about it. They're doing free shipping, even. Hey, free shipping has been crammed down their throat. Now they're doing free shipping on $10 items, plus fee promoted listings. Then they're like, well, I'm not making any money. That's where you get into that rotation of I'm not making any money because of the fees. It's like, no, it's not. It's because you're doing $10 items, free shipping, and promoted listings. It's like that, it's not the promoted listings that's killing you. It's your sourcing that's killing you. And, you can complain all you want. There's still going to be 28 days in February. Period.
Leroy, you got anything to add to that?
Yeah. Next month there'll be 31 days in March, I believe, and that's amazing. And don't worry, because on like the 30th day, Tim's gonna complain because there's an extra day in the month.
Yeah.
So like, don't think that you're getting away because there's gonna be an extra day in March. Tim's gonna be upset. He's going to be mad because he's waiting for a check or something. He's not going to get it till the 1st. He's going to wait an extra day. So, you're always going to get that complaint. But no, these guys are 100% right, guys. I did get a little offended when they said 10 $5 items. I had to just go and look at my average. It's at about $28. It dropped down a little bit. I am a under $10 guy all day long. And I sell about 12 things a day, whatever it is, plus a couple of big things in here and there. But I'm paying nothing for my items. Pay attention to don't be afraid. If you can look it up, the way that I do my listings is I look at sold. If I can find it in a sold, I'm selling it. If that guy sold it for $5, I'm selling it for $4. If that guy sold it for $24, I'm selling it for $22. Like, again, the little slogan, sell it low, let it go. You don't have to do that, but what you need to do is just trust in what you're doing and give it time. You're not going to sell $50 items a month if you're a beginner. Good luck. If you do, you got some good stuff and you paid up for it. But if you didn't, just learn from, if I get a return on a $10 item, I tell them to keep it, have a great day. I send them a bag of peanuts. Like, I could care less. And
Leroy, you're not the one complaining about promoted listings, though. You know
no,
what I'm saying?
no.
That's
no.
what that's what I was like. That wasn't a shot at you. It was a shot at the people that are complaining about promoted listings.
Yeah, no. I get jabs. I get jabs a lot from people because I sell. Even though you got 45 people selling $1 baseball cards, and But anyway, but that's the thing, guys. Is like they said, if you have items, if you have items, listed with the right wording, with the do a little homework. If you got an item that doesn't sell after a year, literally take a new picture. Try to save some of the listing, change the listing around a little bit. You gotta cycle stuff. When you go to the grocery market, they don't put the fresh stuff in the front. They put the fresh stuff in the back, put the old stuff in the front.
Right.
So true. I always go in when I get my milk, I'd be like this. I try to find the oldest date. I mean, the furthest date away. You know what I'm saying?
Tim just walks in the back of a cooler, just grabs it from the back. I mean, 7-Eleven, you must have your own. Do you have your own?
Nah. I don't get my milk from 7-Eleven. 7-Eleven be busting your head for stuff like that. You can't go to 7-Eleven for stuff like that.
VIP entrance.
No.
100K extra. Yeah, he's looking in the milk crate out behind, like, hey, what's going on back here?
Tim just grabs it off the truck.
I just right from the cow. I was going to give me a cow.
There you go.
Not in your neighborhood. They're going to steal it.
The only thing I would add, this is something I do a little different with promoted listings. If it's something I know is going to sell right now, I don't promote it. I'll just be honest. Like I don't, if it's high dollar and it's going to sell right now, like if you look and there is 10 sold and none listed right now, I'm going to hold off on that promotion at least a couple of days and see if it's going to sell so I don't have to pay the fee. That's just me. Only on high dollar items. And when I say high dollar, like, if we're hitting over that $100 mark, then I'll think to do that. If it's less than $100, most of the time I have mine set continuously and it just rolls, so it automatically lists it as promoted unless I click otherwise. So that's just something I do or I try to do. Sometimes I forget. I actually forgot the other day on that $450 pump. So I paid to play that day. But yeah, it's absolutely true though. You can try to, one of the things I remember getting a piece of advice from Cernoch a long time ago. If eBay asks you to do it, you're better off doing it, right? Because it's their platform. Now, there's certain things when it comes to, I don't think any of us does the pay-per-click promotion, right? Like nobody's on that train. And I personally, for me, I'm not headed that way unless they make me do it, to be honest, because I don't really see the benefit at this point of the pay-per-click. Yeah.
I do have a question. Now, you guys got to realize one thing too, is some of these guys, and I don't want to call names because we have some friends that have bigger YouTube channels, and they may not have to promote because their promotion is YouTube.
Yeah.
So YouTube is their promotion. So
they're providing their own promotion.
Yeah, we talk to some of these guys on a regular basis, and they're like, "Oh my goodness, I sold 25 items in the last week, all from viewers."
Yeah.
So that is their promotion. So that's another thing is where some of it we don't have those big of a channel.
They're promoting in a different way.
They're promoting in a different way. Exactly.
Yeah. Hey, the other thing I would tell you, like if you really want to die, like, okay, so say you're locked in a category that you're selling majority of your stuff in, it might be good to look and see what that percentage of promotion is on those specific categories, because that could change. Like, okay, if all you sold was, all I'm going to sell is golf shirts, that's all I'm going to sell. I can tell you, you're in a flooded category. If you're going to promote in that category, you're going to have to promote high. If you're in like I sell, like apparently that hydro pump thing that I sold the other day, like, dude, it's not out there. It is hard to find. Like I can either not promote or promote at a very low basis. And it kind of see all these things begin to tie together to a degree because if you look at supply and demand, like which is always the case with everything when it comes to sales, supply and demand. If it's where it ain't out there, then obviously you're going to be at the top of the heap right out of the gate. Just because if you got it, no one else has got it, you're top of the heap. But if you're in a flooded market and you're not promoting, dude, you just keep banging your head against the wall because that's what you're doing. Like you're not going to make it. You're not going to. You've either got to be the cheapest, TPP. We talk about all the time. We could add another P for promotion, right?
but
Title, picture, price, promotion. There you go. TPPP.
I've also noticed that when I do my listings, literally say they ask you 12 questions, price, weight, yada, yada, yada. I've noticed that eBay is literally giving me, if they're asking 10 questions, eBay is giving me 5 of the answers. They're literally giving me, I go to it, they're telling me, okay, this is the price you really need to sell it at. You really need to sell this item at $14.60. That's the going rate.
Be careful. Be careful. Be careful on the price.
You can do that. Me personally, if they fill out half that sheet, I'm taking half their answers.
Yeah.
Everybody has different looks on that. But me, that's why I sell 150 items a month, and I only have 700 items in my store.
Yeah. The only thing I would suggest being careful on the suggested price is, okay, so if you had one item sell for $50 and one item sell for $1, they're saying the medium price is $25, but you may have the $50 item and not the $25. So you can still sell it for $40 and be good. eBay would suggest $25, like because that would be the medium. So just look at it, like click the button and you can look at what everything sold. But but if you're just starting out, like I said, I mean, these are things you have to consider, and you're probably like, my brain is like blowing it out. Take it a day at a time. You ain't gotta learn it all today. None of us did. Like that's just what it is. But just take a little nugget here or there, and it'll help you as you get down the road. Hey, we're gonna go ahead and shut this thing down. But hey, we appreciate each and every one of you guys for watching, as always, and hopefully you got some good information from us today. If not, if there's something particular you're looking for, please drop a comment down below. Put a question and say, hey, could you help me out with this? We'll do our best. If we can't find the answer to the question, we will find somebody who can. So come and we continue to thank you guys for supporting us along the way. Check everybody's links down below. We got all kinds of stuff down there. Supplies. We got banking information. We got all kinds of stuff. So everybody's eBay store, if you want to come in and see what we got going on, then you can go and check that out as well. So Leroy?
All I'm going to tell you guys, I'm going to end on this note. I'm going to try to make it short, is tomorrow might not be the date number that you want, but it will definitely be the day after the day it was. So tomorrow is definitely going to be the day after the day it was, and it might not be the number that you want it to be. Besides that, see you guys next week.
I'll use my last February joke earlier, so
it's okay because it's the last day of February, so you're okay.
Yeah, I know, right? Wait, what? No.
Gregory.
Gregorian calendars. All right. Thanks for everyone for watching. Hope y'all learned some stuff today. Again, if you want to, we're giving you those little nuggets. Take those nuggets, collect enough of them, and then if you want some more nuggets, there's nuggets all out there to go look for. So take those nuggets and go, all right, what was he talking about? All right, let me deep dive this even a little bit more, like the Levi's, like the Fire King and the Anchor Hawking stuff that Tim was talking about last week. Take those items we're talking about And that's something that you seriously, like, if you seriously want to sell jeans and you're like, man, you know what? I've got a great honey hole for jeans. Then take that information I gave you and then just start going deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. And then once you get your submarine, you know, and you're cruising around on your little submersible thing out there in the deep, you'll see us and we're like, hey, how's it going? All right, great. You know what I'm saying? So use all those nuggets, because again, we could do a 12-hour show on just one item, but you know, no one's gonna sit through that. You know what I'm saying? But again, do your research, look for those things. You know, I made all these slides to show y'all, you know, what to look for, you know, because I believe in it and I believe in what I'm talking about. So take that chance, go do a little more research and add it to your repertoire. So yeah. And Tim, I've got something new for your outro, by the way. So don't get alarmed. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Listen, big shout out to everybody, all of these guys over here and myself as well. You know, this means a lot to us. Obviously, we love helping you guys. I did want to say, like, it's important to realize that we ourselves are learning from each other every time we do this. Okay, that's why I ask questions about the hammers. That's why I ask questions about the Levi's, because I don't know everything. None of us know everything. So it's important for us to keep learning, not just from us, but from each other. We are doing that right here at the Reseller Information Network. Big shout out. Make sure you guys are checking us out on Tuesdays, because we had a lot of fun today with the mishap in the number of days in February. So if you guys aren't watching, make sure you guys tune in on Tuesdays. Don't forget to tell a friend about RIN, Reseller Information Network.